the economic growth and the development of the city, right now, housing is being affected because there are many residents, it's starting to affect Porterville, that have no housing, but they can't afford, or there's no rentals that are available, but it's not just Porterville, it's countywide. And even though there's a seller's market, there's a lot of people that are moving into the community, but then you have tragedies of fires, they displace families, they become homeless, and there's no housing to place them. And it's becoming a real stress right now that's been shared at different roundtables. So a lot of that we keep sharing at our city council meetings. And that's where, when you hear us giving our reports, it's because we attend the meetings, we report out so that the community knows what's going on. Okay, we'll deal with, since we're engaging on a regular basis, we'll get that going. All right, now that we're going to go into the term, number 3. This agreement shall be in effect commencing date of execution of this agreement and shall continue in effect until June 31 and thereafter on a year-to-year basis.
So
We-
we
that's
meant
gonna be discussed.
we meant June 30th, right?
Yep. Oh, June 30.
Whew, almost got that in.
Okay.
How about an evergreen contract?
I never.
Until it.
Beginning on
It's
July 1 of
evergreen,
each
huh?
year until terminated,
There-
according to paragraph.
Like I said, they
There
tell you
is
as
case
much as
law
my
on that.
very,
It
very rough
wouldn't
draft.
have gotten
Oh,
very
that's an
far.
evergreen.
Okay. According to paragraph 4 of this agreement, number 4, unilateral termination. This agreement may be terminated by other party and for any reason providing 30 days written notice to the other. This agreement shall terminate forthwith. That was a tongue twister. 30 days following the date such notice is received by the non-terminating party. Okay with all of that? The end.
The big thing on annual review is just gonna be when.
Okay.
I'm back to
We'll
that.
put a
discussion.
question on that.
We probably should sync along with the.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, then the amendment, number 6, this agreement may be amended or modified only by a writing signed by both parties. Failure on the part of either party to enforce any provision of this agreement shall not be construed as a waiver to the right to compel enforcement of such provisions. And then I think the next one is, I'm
So
okay.
we need
with
to
the
add,
amendment.
and they'll note, we need to add the amendment stuff that we'd added, like
Yeah.
insurance requirements.
The insurance requirement is is the one that I caught to attention, this whole
Yeah.
section of insurance requirements. And the indemnification.
Yeah,
Those were the only 2 I was
Uh-huh.
gonna recommend.
yeah, just because those were in our amendments.
Yes.
When I was making the changes, I was making them to the original agreement, so we'll make sure
Okay.
that those get added.
I do have a concern about this one.
Sure.
So this limit is 1 million. The last 2 or 3 events it's been requested for 2 million.
Yeah,
Now, going back and forth with Darren at Insurica, 2 million is not something we can provide at this time. So if 2 million is something that will be required in the future,
that's,
We
the
need to
problem- that's
reassess
coming
them.
from that's not coming directly from us, that's coming from our risk management association. Our insurer is saying we need to be requiring at least $2 million. So speaking-
Which is why we,
Yeah.
which is why we've added the 2 million special event coverage.
Right.
so
Well,
is that something that we need to provide here in the future? Dennis, we're gonna need to revise our insurance. And that's something we're not paying for right now.
Can I make a comment? So there's 2 different things. So one, like on some contracts that we have that are merely like a consultant contract, there's a $1 million for each of it. Now, if there's an event that takes place, even like a film permit, it's required 2 million. Is that, you see the distinction?
Yep.
So on the event,
Yep.
there's 2 million, but on the actual just like
This is a
agreement,
contractual
contractual
agreement.
agreements, we've been asking for 1 million.
so we might be able to stick with the 1 million. then.
Most recently, Julia, if we speak with Patrice, we talk about the agreement with title services,
Mhm.
because we could
it's gonna have to be more, but I think he does point out, that's a good point. With the just the general commercial liability, you may not need 2 million.
But I feel like you provided that in the past, like for the Christmas parade as an example. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like that's.
because it's
not-
actually, I'll be honest with you, with these special events, it actually needs to be more. It's because our RMA, I mean,
Well,
our
really,
RMA actually
well-
says 2 million minimum, but know that there are things that require more, and special events typically tend to drive it to be, that's why we have the extra, like it's over and above.
I mean, Patrice isn't here.
Yeah.
I
we
confirm
know
with her
our
on
risk
this.
manager.
So it is with special events. And in the parades is what drove it, which the Christmas parade, Veterans Day parade, veterans said that they would not pay. Not there would be no veterans parade. So they have $1 million. We have 2
We
million
have to get
special
the
events
riders,
coverage.
yeah.
Right? So we provide that. I guess that then becomes a question for that, and that was specifically deliberated by the council when veterans said they would not, they couldn't afford it. They wouldn't do it. So that becomes a question then if any of the other parades, because I don't think it's been an issue to this point. But
We'll look at it. Why don't we do this rather, because it's, a lot of it's, the
It's specific
discussion's
to
very
parades.
theoretical. We can talk to our risk manager and see what we can do there.
or Iris Festival would have been another.
Yeah,
No,
festivals
it's
tend to,
Anytime
Bigger
that
than
they're
more
big events
people.
with street closers.
it's just the risk.
But if
And
there's
the
an
amount of
annual
risk is often higher.
plan, maybe we could foresee any of those that may be over the.
Well,
2
and that's,
million?
and that's why we have that coverage, is to
Yeah.
additionally protect the city and its liability when those that are sponsoring the events can't afford.
Can't.
Those issues in Southern California, Santa Barbara. especially that Grow that market.
Thank you for that. All right. Second amendment. I think the next one is supposed to be assignment and not annual review again. Number 7. It should say assignment.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay. This agreement shall not be assigned by the chamber without the written consent of the city, and such consent may be withheld for any reason. Number 8, notices. All notices required by the agreement shall be in writing and delivered in person or sent by registered mail, postage paid. Number 9, relationship of parties. It is understood that contractual relationship of the chamber to the city is that of an independent contractor. All signature lines will be brought to current. And we have completed reviewing the agreement. I want to thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you because it's important that we had to have this conversation, but know that it was important to revisit the agreement and bring it to the table with this communication that we've had here today. Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Well, what's the way forward? Do we- Should
Julie's got copious notes. She's gonna send a red line over to me.
but I hope we
I'm
can
going
read
to
one.
take that red line. We'll discuss it with the chamber. I mean, because you're asking, is the chamber okay? We
Yeah.
gotta.
We don't know if the city council's okay.
Correct.
Well, right.
We don't
This
know
is
Well,
the
that.
work
precisely,
session,
precisely. So then we put together a working document to send and say, this is what we got. Is this okay? And then we
Get
hash
insight
that
and go
out.
from there, yeah.
I mean, if the council can get authority to, yeah, I mean, to have you negotiate it, I mean, I think that, or have I mean, if we're at this point where we just have that discussion and then we put it forward, I think we're a week or 2 away.
And that's a good point. I mean, by this being an open meeting, we can, there's going to be an AB 1234 report of this meeting at next Tuesday. Should we prepare a draft to
Yeah,
say,
that's right.
here's what we worked on and here, at least it should be in the public.
And then, I mean, we actually were supposed to be having a meeting right now,
Oh.
so no, we're not anymore.
Oh,
We moved it for this, so, but we're gonna have one on Wednesday, so I think we can have a discussion about that.
I'll make the revisions and get them over to you then. or at
Well,
least
yeah,
whatever.
I guess that means. Well, no, honestly, I mean, I'm kind of putting you under the gun there, but
All right, I'll see what I can get done.
yeah.
Some nifty little-
so.
Okay, are there any other matters? No other matters?
What I would, for the,
Okay.
just for the sake of the audit committee. Well, first of all, before we leave, anything you want to add? Got to check with the person that actually sends us some stuff to the state controller's office. Yeah. One of the items that we were talking about was looking at pension obligation bonds. The bond market continues to improve.
Oh,
So.
no. I mean, it's
Well,
good, but oh no, it's
And
every time we're trying to,
PERS did a 20%
I saw that.
plus return
Yeah,
last
I
year,
saw
so there's a
that.
lot of volatility right now in the whole pension obligation bond. There's just a lot of moving parts, so just, I don't know when our next meeting is, but probably want to spend some time talking about this
That-
whole kind of
That
odd
was, I
scenario
said that we
that's
were gonna
developed.
have a meeting to that regard. To that regard.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do we want to, is there another meeting with January that
Do
we
we-
want to schedule?
do we
or
want to
what's the-
schedule another meeting right now?
What's the interest?
I'd like to, so it doesn't get-
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay,
well, okay.
Is it gonna be a working meeting or is this gonna be the?
to go,
Another working, meeting, another internal audit meeting,
Yeah,
right?
it would be a meeting of this.
do you want to go on, what's your, on the 30th, is that your off day, your legal off day,
30th of
August?
August. Theoretically.
I always look at legal
Yes, you're
counsel.
right, it is. It's an off Tuesday or off.
My,
What's a
Last
Monday?
is our
31st.
board.
So-
Board meetings are
Oh,
always. on
31st.
the-
I think
yeah,
it's
I was gonna say, is there a way
Yeah,
we
the
push?
31st, Tuesday, the 31st.
Okay.
And what time is a late meeting good for you?
Yes,
4 o'clock, good for you, like today?
Does that work?
Thank you.
That works for me.
Okay. Okay, no other matters. We've scheduled the next meeting for the 31st of August at 4 o'clock. And it is 5:41 and the meeting is adjourned.